discussion we had earlier. Pamakaiba had to haalala siya rin sa Spain. Gotta go. Come back tomorrow. Okay. So, kind of a quick synopsis from the earlier class, if you missed the earlier talk. So we're kind of talking about around the concept of ritual. We started with the basic concept. And when we look at this, the basic concept of ritual is that you could say like a habit or regular repetitive processes, like even like waking up in the morning, brush your teeth, coming out, which I hope you do. That's ritual. Right? That's your regular protocol. Right? We kind of went through the beginning of my story, kind of sharing from the origins of my origins and connection to ritual, from the rooted in where we are today as kind of like the revival of ritual. For some being able to, a very few of us being able to continue what was maintained within Ohana. Those who have had that, were able to have that, and we're blessed to have that. Okay. No. But what does it mean to be able to remake in that sense? To recall ritual, or to remake ritual, and or make a new ritual. Kind of touch on the concept that one of the issues that we're fighting with a lot in this movement is foreigners telling us telling us Lanakila what is sacred and not sacred. These foreign powers trying to tell us what is an actual Hawaiian practice and what is not a Hawaiian practice. For them, they stay in this concept of they're stuck within a mind frame that Hawaiians are all gone. Hawaiian culture is only a thing of the past, and it needs to be able to be found in some historic book in order for it to be considered Hawaiian. I want to add to that right there that remember, from the time Captain Cook arrived to the mid-1800s during our monarchy, 90% of the Hawaiian population was wiped out. 90%. In like 50 years, 90% of our people were wiped out. Okay? The written word didn't even come until the early 1800s. So, if we're going to put all of our eggs in the basket that our entire Hawaiian culture was all inside of a few books that were written, we're really minimizing ourselves. Understanding that with that loss of 90% of our people went 90% of our culture, 90% of other perspectives, other family traditions, other oral traditions and stories from different places. All that information, a lot of that information was lost. Right? So, if we are going to be held that our culture only exists within a few historic books, then we have completely narrowed our culture down to a very, very small thing. Right? But that's if we're going to stick to their standard, that culture only exists, Hawaiian culture only exists if it's prior to a particular date. When did we get stuck within the confines of a date, not to mention a calendar date by a different culture? So this is still a synopsis. So I kind of shared the story of the Hawaiian Charter School movement. Yeah, the laying down of some of those original educators who started this programs down in YPO. I was lucky to participate in that when I was very young, being able to be taught basic some ritual ceremony. My very first Ava ceremony was in these summer camps. Yeah? The basic pule, basic prayer, e homai, na au makua, e alae kalai kaikina, all those foundational chants, which look, we're still doing today. Yeah? I learned a lot of these things in there, and at a young age was blessed to be introduced to this concept of ritual. A ritual in Kukulu was make sure that you up before the sun and we greet the sun. That was ritual. Yeah? So then, what does ritual do? Ritual keeps us in, what's the term? Keeps us in rhythm. Yeah, kind of keeps us moving. Yeah? Sets us in connection. In some cases, sets us in along with the time or the calendar of the movement of our nature, of our environment, of our seasons. It keeps us in those rhythms. Yeah. Every single practice in Hawaiian culture had a form of ritual connected to it. If you were a Kanakalabaya, if you're a fisherman, there was a whole all rituals and ceremonies and such that Kanakalabaya does. Yeah, if you were a Mahiai, if you were a farmer, all rituals there. If you were a feather worker, you had all your own rituals. Yeah? All those things kept you in tune with your natural environment. Yeah? Okay, so then from that, the charters from the summer camps that emerged, the Hawaiian Charter School movement started as a Hawaiian Academy, a school within a school in Honoka'a. In the year 2000, branched out of Kanokaina was the very first Native Hawaiian public charter school in Waimea. And within the next year, and over the course of the years, 13 other Native Hawaiian public charter schools opened up, creating a Nale Na'awau Charter School Alliance across the Pai'aina. Yeah? And in that, now getting to insert on another level, bringing it more keiki and more opio into a practice and more regular ritual, in the sense of just regular practice and familiarity with our own culture. We've opened up our mornings with protocol. Yeah? There are protocols that happen daily. There's protocols that happen within particular classes. There was these rituals that took place annually for a school. Yeah. Um, And then I began to share the story of my connection with other indigenous people. So I'm going to reiterate and kind of tell this part, bring us back into focus. Who wasn't in our talk earlier? Oh, lucky you, I don't retell. Okay, so just to recap. Um, so yeah, in the year 2004, I was on my senior year in high school. I was asked to participate in the Native Youth Cultural Exchange Program. It was begun by a man named Jonathan Freeman, who's married to a Hawaiian woman. He's actually Choctaw Chichimeca. His people come from South Florida area, but he's been Hanai'd and he lives up in Northern California with the Pit River Nation, Mount Shasta area. And he was visiting his uncle, who's actually a Mashika man, Uncle Oso, who was married to a Hopi lady down in Hopi. There's just tether, all of that. Yeah, and he found his way, and he went to go visit his uncle in Hopi with Mikiala, his Hawaiian wife, and just so happened while they were there, a whole bunch of charter school kids from Hawaii showed up in Hopi. Yeah. And they were greeted with protocol and exchange, and they were welcomed in that way. And through discussions with all these different educators from these different communities, um, they were he was inspired to create this, particularly this first program was a Native Youth Young Men's Leadership Program, the Native Youth Cultural Exchange. And so it's a month-long exchange program within these three different nations of Hawaii, Hopi, and Northern California, the Pit River Nation. Um, and so getting to experience with each other in ceremony was a very powerful thing. So then we got to the part of the story. I experienced this concept of ceremonial running. Yeah? The first experience of this was the ancestral run. I'm sorry, the Peace and Dignity run, which is again the unification of the eagle and the condor, a ceremony that takes place once every 4 years. Unification of all these North American tribes. They start up in Alaska and they run down through North America, and then South American tribes starting from Argentina, and they run all the way up to South America, and they converge at the Panama Canal where the lands were severed. So we just happened to be in this culture exchange, our first time in Hopi. We happened to be there the exact same time as these runners were coming through, and we were welcomed to participate with them. Can you run? Yeah. Okay, get in. Okay. But in that, being stepping into their ceremony, being welcomed in, and our prayers being welcomed as well. Beginning with sunrise prayers, you heard Iale Kalai Kaikina, then you heard the drumming and the mashika, and You heard all these other tribes and different nations and different cultures all sharing and praying together. Um, they opened up a blanket, or a number of blankets with all these different prayer staffs from many different nations. And they began the ceremony by everyone going to select the staff that you're going to run with for the day. Our first run out of the building that we started in, running down to the village of Monkapi, coming around the corner and seeing the white road, the white cornmeal that the Hopi pray with. They had scattered it all over the road. It was white. And the elders all up in this early morning calling and praying as we ran through the village. And then we began to make our way out. And my first experience of physical exhaustion and trying to run at very high elevation Hopi deserts. Brain boil kind of action. But it was very powerful and humbling. You know? I've been through a lot of ceremony already by this time as a young man, but this was something else. This was like, whoa, it's pretty heavy. But this was it was very powerful to be able to say that I helped to carry that prayer. Yeah. And then from Hopi we moved up to Northern California. We went to Shasta, and they had their ceremonial run there, which they call the ancestral run. Yeah, I'm getting there, almost there. Yeah. The ancestral run is a run that they do from Mount what would they call it? Ya'aku to Atichina, Mount Shasta to Mount Lassen. And the whole community gets involved. You have little keiki to elders, everybody gets involved with this run. And they're just the calls that they always hear as we're running, pray hard, think about your people, pray for the land. Yeah. A lot of big practice, big ceremonial, memorization of no, none of that's there. Just come on, get in, go. So the origin story again. So I participated with that in 2004. I had my own little experience, getting lost. Okay, I wasn't lost; they lost me. But I ended up getting stuck running for 7 miles barefoot through the California mountains. Thank God they found me. But that gave me this extreme opportunity of finding myself in transcending, pushing beyond physical limitations. Yeah? And I only experienced that again as a ritual hula dancer. When we get into our deep ceremonial dancing, and you push yourself to these extreme levels of pain and exhaustion, and then you leave that physical, and your body's just moving on its own. Spirit is now dancing more than choreography and brain and muscle. So that's where I was like, wow, okay, there is something special, there's something powerful here. I'm relating to this. So thank God they lost me. But that inspired me. It really brought me to getting more involved with this exchange. I really helped to develop me as a young man. And I'll be honest, in a lot of ways too, by exchanging with these other indigenous people, some things I experienced helped to fill holes in my own culture. That's a big thing. We sometimes learning things here at home. We just not clear answers. We're still kind of left with some I wonders. But following these other people began to fill some pukas for me. There were parallels, so much parallels as indigenous people that it helped to fill in the blanks in some cases. So it was a very powerful experience. So I became a director for Hawaii for this program and helped to continue to bring young men to this program. We did it for a number of years until funding got hard, and then took a little break, and then we tried to do it a couple more times. But again, so it was 2013. Again, this is for the summer of 2013. I got really inspired. Particularly, I'm retelling it again, sorry. When I heard, now for the first time, the origin of the ceremony. Again, for many years participating, I thought we were part of an ancient ceremony that these people have always done. Again, it's linked to that story of the mountain lion and the bear, how they're race challenging each other between the mountains, actually carved and shaped all of those lands, the Pit River Nation. So I totally thought that we were part of one ancient thing. Yeah. It turns out it wasn't. The practice of running as a prayer, that's ancient. But this particular ceremony of the ancestral run is not. It was a prayer that was called and that was conjured up by elders um, in this community. Let's see, well, a little over 25 years ago. And looking at what's happened to the, if you know anything about Native California history, is dark, is bloody. These people were hunted down. Yeah? You got paid. The state of California would pay for Indian heads. $2 if you brought in babies' heads. $5 if you brought in women's heads. $10 or $20 if you brought in a man's head. Right? So they were systematically hunted down. So everyone that you meet up there who is of native descent, that they are extremely endangered species. Yeah? They have a story about this one Indian. His name was Ishi. And Ishi, he was out hunting or something and came back to his village. His entire village was killed. His whole family. And he ended up joining with the pit rivers until he passed. So, to come to this community, be familiar with them for so long, and then to hear this story was very powerful. How, same thing, genocide, being ripped off their lands, everything. Their community suffering many of the same illnesses of, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, domestic violence, really bad health statistics, bad diet, all these sound familiar? Yeah. And their elders of their tribes said, we need to do something. We need to do something for our people. We need to help to re-inspire and pray hard for our people. So Uncle Radley Davis, who's one of my uncles now up there, but he was very young back in the days, he was telling us how, the elders got us together and said, boy, take this prayer staff, take it to the mountain, lay down some prayers for our people and carry it to the next mountain. And that was all the instructions he got. Go over there, pray, run over there, pray. That's about it. There was no other in-depth, no research, nothing. Just go do it. And he shared this story about him and just a couple others. They just kind of went there and did like the most, a very common practice for them of using the sacred fire, praying at the fire, laying some offering of tobacco, and just being with the mountain. And they're going to do this relay, running all the way to the next mountain. It's about 130 something miles. Kind of going all through the mountains up there. And it was pretty intense, he said. It's like, we learned a lot of things you don't want to do. Soda is not good on a run. Water is important. Stretching is important. Plan the route first. They got lost a bunch of times. They ended up grabbing a couple other extra brothers they saw on the side of the road. And they also were faced a lot from their own community and other people too. Like, what are you guys doing this for? Why are you doing that for? Why is he doing this all kind of stuff? So they faced all that ridicule. And they pushed through it. But when they got to the other side, a lot of people were like, oh wow, that's cool. And the next year, the elders told him to do it again. And he did it again, but more people joined him that time. The next year, more people joined, and more people joined. To a point that then it started to build. More things began, more other ceremonies and rituals began to come to that ceremony. They begin with, there's sweat lodge and different prayers and stuff and things that take place before the run. There's dances, there's sacred dances that happen during the run and after the run and all these things. And now in the recent years connecting with them, they're trying to make sure to include their native diet and stuff, having their sacred foods present and all. So it's still building. But when I heard this and I realized, wow, what I just experienced, even the people who have faced such extreme levels of genocide, and still deals with a lot of issues. They are still a living culture, still a living people, that they can still create ceremonies to address a need of the community. So, what's stopping us? As Kanaka Maoli, people who have our ancestors right here, why is it when we build a kuahu or an altar, it's not sacred? Why? Oh, it's less than 50 years old. Really? So is time the only thing that's going to make it sacred? Well, how is it going to make it to 50 years old if you're going to bulldoze it? Why is it the prayers of us as Kanaka today are somehow less than our ancestors' prayers? Are we not our ancestors? Are we still not following the same tradition? Why is it? Because the system that they designed 100-something years ago was supposed to annihilate us. We were supposed to be gone. Our culture was supposed to be gone. Our language was supposed to be gone by now. That's why they really scared. It didn't work. We're still here. All these rituals, our connection to the gods, of course, Kalamai, if it hurts your feelings, but it's true. There's a systematic process that they did all over the world. A particular culture, in their practice of domination and colonialization, one of the first things they're going to do, especially when they come across powerful people, is they need to pull the people away from their spiritual beliefs. Why? Because indigenous spirit and religion is based in what? In their land. It's their land base. Our gods are not just images in the sky. Our gods is this. But this is our Akua. The mountains, the forest, the trees, the animals, the plants, the forest, the river. All those things. That is our spiritual connection. So they need to first somehow disconnect us from that. So what's the first thing they did to us? They infiltrated the minds of our ali'i and broke our connection to our gods. Broke our connection to our aina. And we began to think like them. Sacredness is not in this. Sacredness is up there in heaven after you die. Sacredness is only up there, sitting on a golden throne. This, oh no, this was just put here to serve you. That is not the mentality of our people. In fact, it's kind of opposite. We were put here to serve this aina. He ali'i ka aina, he ka wake kanaka. But if they can break the people from that connection, now you don't have a stronger connection that the mountain is sacred. Easy for them now to come in and take it from you. You're not going to fight so hard for it now. They tethered it, or they have ripped you away from that deep connection. That water is sacred. No, water is a commodity. That's what they've done. Food is not sacred. That's why we fill ourselves with some of the worst contaminated things. We don't even eat food anymore. We're eating lotions and potions. Literally, where scientists have just done research to make things attract your taste buds. And we gorge ourselves on these things, and you wonder why we're leading in some of the worst health statistics. Understand, it was designed that way. And you see it in every other indigenous community. They've done the same thing. The same sicknesses, the same drugs, the same domestic violence. Why? Because we are not connected. We are not seeing that we are powerful and we are stewards, that we have a purpose and a function. No, it's another culture who comes in here going, I'm trying to find my purpose. Why am I here? We already know why. Because this is our ohana. We are here breathing air because we're a part of this environment. When the birds are born, they do not question, why am I here? They are part of all. We didn't have that problem. We were part of this natural ecosystem. And it was an honor to be part of it. And we continue to grow our civilization, still maintaining that. Remember, when Captain Cook arrived in Hawaii, he did not find people surviving on Hawaiian Islands. He found a thriving civilization. Understand, the population on this island, on Hawaii Island, was greater than our current population back then. Yet the forest was full. The oceans were full. The people were healthy. Now we have a smaller population and we're running out of everything. We lost our rituals. We fell out of our ritual practices that constantly reminded us of Kuleana, that regularly always came back around to remind us that we are part of this. So, birthing of ritual. I was inspired by this, as they refer to it, medicine, this medicine of ceremonial running. And I asked at the sacred fires there if I could bring this medicine to my people. And they gave me their blessings. And so I came back, and it took some time, and I was kind of throwing the idea around in my head, like, oh, maybe something. And finally we put the kahea out, took this idea to a number of my kumu and my teachers, and they were saying, oh, that's, my kai. But like many things that Hawaiians, that we've adopted a lot, yeah, the ukulele is that Hawaiian. It wasn't, it is now. Yeah, the slacky guitar is that Hawaiian. No, kane is now. Paniolo, is that Hawaiian? No, it wasn't. It is now. We Hanai these things. So where people are not closed off, we're not closed-minded people. If it works, hey, my kai, bring it in. This is where I found my peace with, even I was saying, I found my peace with Jesus. Yeah. There was an archaeological site found down in Kauai High. It was a payakua. I think they said it was a halemua, a men's eating house, and one of the kuleana in the men's eating house was they also had the payakua, was like the platform with all the ki'i or the idols for the family gods. Yeah? And in this archaeological site, you could still see that the pukas were like this, maybe the lao or the wooden ki'is were there. They still had some of the standing stone were there, and then there was a metal crucifix, and then there was some more ki'is. And see our people things right there? Just add them. When some aspects of Christianity came in, a lot of that is very good teachings. There's good teachings about how to be good neighbors, how to take care of each other. So what our group want to do, add them to the pie. Add them to the pie. Yeah. There's only one aspect of a culture that says all others must bow down to it. It's not our culture that doesn't say that. Yeah. There's one other because it's rooted in domination over others. And I'll say that's actually not even a practice of that original culture. That was something that was added to it by people who stole it. Who brought that religion here? Europeans. Is that theirs? No, it wasn't. Where was Jesus born? Jerusalem. It's a Middle Eastern practice. You see, it was already taken out of context, and it was warped by mortals to do other things. So if you just listen to the original teachings, then he fit in with us. So, oh my God. Put him right up there with Ku and Lono and everybody. Oh my God. Yeah? Why do we have a Kua? Why do we have these spiritual beings anyway? Because they're all here to help to guide us to be better, to do better in our lives. We hold on to these collection of ancestral stories that go back for hundreds and thousands of years to individuals or people who did great things so they can inspire us to be the best that we can. Yeah? Okay. Where was I? Okay, so being inspired by this and Hanaim, or attempting to adopt in this practice of this medicine of ritual running, ceremonial running. With a lot of my kumu, we analyze how do we make it us? Right? And that's where, what do we want to run for? That was the first thing. It's like, okay, you can run for ceremony. Good. What for? What's your ceremony for? What's your intention? What's your goal? What's your hihi, your ho'ohihi? Yeah? I want to pray for the land, to help pray for the healing of the land and for the consciousness of people to wake up that we need to malama the land. That was my goal. Okay. Then they told me, okay, well, where in our culture do we see? Because we're talking about recognizing that something is not healthy, and we want to call for health to it. So we're calling for rejuvenation. Where do we have that in our culture? Where's a practice of something like that where we come back and restores and rejuvenates? Aina. Rain is something that comes, right? Particularly an aspect under the akua lono. Lono is the restorative. During the time of ku, the ku season is a time for hana, for working. And as we're hana and we're working, we're gathering, we're using up, we're doing all these things. Yeah? Then when the lono comes, which we call, what's that season? Makahiki. Yeah? What's the two things that are not allowed during makahiki? War and intensive labor. All that stops for like the next 4 months. Oh, I gotta get back to that. No. But what that is it's allowing us the land to rest. Let it rest. Yeah? Right before it, it's harvest season. Yeah? Get everything out of the ground, stock it up, and get ready to whatever. Yeah? Small kind gatherings and stuff during Makariki. The intensive, war and all that kind of stuff, war and the hakaka, that's politics. Even the politics have to end. Why? Because Ku goes to sleep. If the god of politics is resting, you don't conduct your politics. Yeah? So it rests. A lot of times, we've heard some stories where they were going at it with chiefs going at it, and the Makaiki came. By the time Makaiki was found, I was like, we've done already. Yeah. But so tethering in, finding the continuity in our culture, right there, we're pulling on these elements of lono, restoration. Okay. Now, where are we going to run? We had all kind of ideas. We're going to run across from Kumukahi to Keahole. No, we're going to run from north to south. No, we're going to run up the mountain. We had no idea. So again, if we're tapping into lono, let's look. The stories of Lonoika Makahiki, what did Lonoika Makahiki do? He would go around the island challenging other people in game. Okay? What's one of the famous ceremonies, or well-known ceremonies of Makahiki? The procession of the chiefs and the kahuna around the island. So like, oh, there's our route. We're going to run around the island. Ka'apun kamuku. So, rooted in the continuity of our ancient traditions. Yeah? And this is also now setting this run. This is now also giving us when we're going to run. Oh, well, if it's Lono and it's restorative, that puts us in the November time. Yeah? Especially if we want to call to everybody to be in consciousness of this during this time of year. So we chose to do our ceremony before the rising of the Makalim Pleiades constellation. We chose that time of year, or that particular time, instead of right at the start of Makahiki, we go right before we are going to herald the coming of Lono. To let everybody know, hey, he's coming. Ho'omakakao. Get ourselves into that mind space, into that practice, prepare. Yeah? And in many ways, we got knocked left and right because, it's not like that's not how it is traditionally. Like, we're not trying to do the old ceremony because we got knocked too. We had carved our Lono staff, our prayer staff. This is the baton that we will pass, yeah? Symbolizing the elements of Lono. We got knocked. People on us like, only the priests are allowed to touch the Lono Akua and the Akua Loa. And does this little guy look like the Akua Loa? It's not the Akua Loa. We're not trying to be the Akua Loa. This is something new. Because as Kanaka, we have every right to create a ceremony or create anything to address our current situation. So that's what we did. We put the call out. We did a number of classes all the way around the island. And people came out, people learned, and people wanted to get involved. Makahiki, we want to celebrate the Momona o Kaina. Yeah? So everybody, feast! We literally run from feast to feast. Thank God it's running. You gotta work off the last feast to get to the next feast. But we put out some things out there, like Aipono. Because we cannot contradict our prayer. One thing, we're praying for the health of Aina and our people. How are we going to run and pray for health and then sit down and go suck up a bunch of sugar? How hypocritical. How can we run, pray for health, and then go on the side, go smoke cigarette? So we put that challenge out there. It's a challenge. I would say it's a challenge. And then we say we're also giving thanks for what the Aina provided to us. So another challenge to the community. All the food has to come from Hawaii. You can't just go run Costco. No, you can't just go run. Well, we're not going to say like it's not allowed. We're not going there. It was just a challenge for the community. Try. Because you know what it did? It forced people out there to go look and go, oh crap. Where the fish went? Oh, we haven't been out there feeding them maybe. Because if we don't engage with our Aina, we're not taking care of our Aina. If we're not paying attention to the Aina, then we're not there to protect and stop things that are destroying it. So even in that, calling for our people to gather from Aina actually got more people out looking at Aina and really, oh. Like really, over the years, people now are planting specifically, getting ready for this ceremony because of that challenge. Now here and there, of course, people Tutu will still come up with the hot dogs and you'll be like, mahalo Tutu. You're not going to like, no, not allowed. Mahalo is the number one thing. But just as we challenge ourselves, it's like now, we pray for the health and protection of Aina. Well, then we better do a good job here, everybody. Because my last talk out, over there the other day, I'm Mr. Zero Tolerance. I had to step out of the camp committee because I was like X-nay everything. I'm not up here for comfort. Because human comfort is what we see on the mountain. Me, even though some people might say I'm one of the alakais that is staying, I sleep in my car. My input is my 4 tires and that's it. I don't like bigger. That's just me though. I'm kind of a hard ass, so that's why I go, okay, I'm not the nice guy. So the Pule began to continue to build more things from just over the run around the island to we're going to Pilium to Makahiki. We're going to set these prayers. You know what? We pray for health of people, so let's go Aipono. Okay, we're giving thanks for what the Aina provides, so let's make sure to gather or try to eat only from our Aina. Yeah? We're challenging ourselves. We don't call it kapu because Makahiki yes was kind of free from kapu. It's a challenge. And then other things began to build in. Yeah? What pule? What prayers comes in with this running physical prayer? We began to research the Lono chants. Okay? One of our favorite ones, the big one that comes out of Makahiki. Oh, Ahimaye Lono, Lono who spits open the sky. Lono, like the shaker and the flasher and all. Well, not the flasher, but the lightning and all these things that split the heavens. Yeah? All this rumbling, that's all Lono. The rumbling, whether that be from the ocean or all these things, the earth shaking, that's all Lono. All these things that stimulate the land. Right? That's a big prayer that comes up in it. We begin to build more on that. What's the mark of a runner? During Makahiki time, we put it out there, all the runners. Your mark, we wear white headbands. So if you have you guys ever driven along Hawaii in November or Big Island, you see all these people standing randomly on the side of the road with white headbands? That's us. Some people are like, what the? But that white headband became synonymous as, one, it's a running band. That's the practical. But then it becomes sacred when it becomes infused with your sweat of your sacrifice. What that then became, that headband, not just we could just identify you, but it became the Lono. What's one of the main physical forms that we see Lono coming as? The clouds, the big opua, the big thunder clouds. So that white headband becomes that cloud. So when we move in, we sweating. It builds. It continues through the iki of our kupuna. We begin to recognize these things. When we run hard. Why? Because Lono is all about the shaker and the mover. So when we run and our feet cutting the earth, that's the pahu, sounding. Actually, we say it's like the ipu heke. When the ipus hit the ground, we're trying to stimulate the land, we're waking the land up. Our heartbeat, that's like the pahu. That's calling out to the heavens. We run hard and we start breathing. What else comes with Lono? The big winds, the kona winds. That's Lono. Yeah? So when we run, We're breathing hard. We're calling in that wind. Yeah, we run and we sweat. We're calling in the rain. That's our offering that we put. And with each step, we're laying down that prayer. It began to grow and manifest. It's continuing to grow and manifest. Every year it builds. So, even to now, this year will be our 7th year. Holy moly. Yeah. 7 years now. But now, I'll get back in. How does that apply to this movement? 2014, October 2014, groundbreaking ceremony, TMT. You watch the video? There you go. Now go look them up. Running the mountain to defend the mountain became a thing. Standing in truth, physically putting ourselves in front, that became something for this movement. We've seen it in our past. We've seen it with other movements. Here it is again. Okay? But a different sound came in. Okay, it started off kind of harsh. Snakes! But then it changed. Yeah? Aloha, aloha, that little air changed the entire energy of all the history of Kanaka standing in the front. Here we are again, but there's something different this time. There's a different energy. Yeah? Kind of kept their butts in the seat to listen to. But from there, now November, first Makahiki run. We put it out. People came out from all over the island. Some people who have never done any kind of Hawaiian ceremony thing ever. Never got involved with that kind. Oh, support, go good for you, but don't actually do it. One thing about Makahiki Pule Naholo, everyone can come. Everyone is welcome to step into this ritual. Do you need to know the Pule? No, you don't. Get others who can Pule for you. Can you pick up this staff and run it a little bit? Shoots you in that. You cannot run them. You want to hold it for a moment and pass it on? Right on. You help carry it. Your mana is there. You're helping feed this Pule. Okay. Two particular images here. First year coming out of Laupohoihoi Gulch. Laupohoihoi School, 4th graders was lined up on the side of the road. They wanted to cheer for the runners. We caught them off guard. We would hand the boy in the staff. He was like, pass him on. He passed him to his friend. He went, pass him. And now the end, the runner grab him and go. All those keiki when help move that Pule. Did they have to know what a Pule? No, it's okay. But in that moment, they got to step into a realm of ceremony. You know? If it was just only light, they did it. Even down to some people driving by. Beep, beep. They just connected. Even if it was just a flash, they connected with that. They saw that key with kappa draping, running, and something made them go, oh, wow, look at that. Beep, beep. Some people pull on the side for chant, or even just to cheer. And some aunties pull on the side of the road. Oh, we pass on the staff. They run them up a little bit, pass them, and go walk back to the car. They part of that Pule. It was a way to invite community to step in. Just step in, get your toes wet. March 2015. I get a call in the Mauna. I'm actually down in Kona, 4 o'clock in the morning I get on call. Machinery is moving on Mauna Kea. I cannot do nothing. I will shoot up here. Got stopped at the bottom. You cannot go. I said, screw you. I'm going. And I literally chased machines up the mountain, all the way up to like 12,000 foot elevation. Okay. They wouldn't let cars up. They already dropped the machines off. The low boys passed me on their way back down, but I was still going. So it's like 6 hours later, I stay way up there. Finally, they open up the roads on there. First car coming up, the first people who saw my little Facebook plea, "Oh, come on, everybody, we gotta do something. We cannot not do nothing." And this is before Facebook Live was much harder back then. With the video, first people coming up there, Auntie Patty Ikeda and her daughter Lena Ala. Remember those names. Lena Ala and Auntie Patty Ikeda. Those are the first two who actually said, "I gonna go." They came up, they were stopped at the bottom for a few hours, and they still came up. Thank God. They would pick me up. But what got me pumped up? They were runners. Those are Makahiki runners. They even came out for that. Lena Ala, at this time, we all love Lena Ala if you see Tita around here. But prior to that Makahiki, she's like, oh, she never ever do this kind of stuff. But, just people for Hapai to people to be said, it's okay. Here, you can hold the key. What? Yeah. Don't be scared. Own this. This is your culture. And just being able to do that. Or bring her kids. Brought her kids to come run. How then could you hear a call as when you would just sacrifice and you would give your own body, you would run, you would participate in a prayer for the healing and protection of Aina. And then destruction to Aina is happening and you're not going to do nothing. That'd be hypocritical again, huh? So they felt it. They're like, we just went go do this whole running. I went bust our butt and out of my normal and running around the whole island, and now I can't even go. It sparked them to move. And then a few more cars came. All runners. All people who ran just a few months before. Yeah, some people don't know. But for a number of nights up here, before all the rest of everybody came, it was just like 4 or 5 of us on this mountain. By ourselves. All the runners who would dedicate their blood, sweat, tears to physically, not just pule, not just sit and pule, but physically pule as well. To act upon the prayer. Right? Don't get me wrong, the pule is part of it. But pule in connection to kupuna is not calling the gods to do the work for you. That's someone else's culture. You go pray for the deities for come do all these things for you. That's not us. We pule for them to do their thing, to inspire us to do what we need to do. We don't put the job on them, they're not our slaves. Inspire us to act. So, there we go. We are now on the mountain. Wait. Sorry, little interesting story. So, okay, it was early March. We knew we were hearing TNT, they're going to try to start construction, what we're going to do. And then we hearing they was going to come. And actually, a lot of us it's like February, actually, late February. And all of us were kind of like, oh my God, we would just do makahiki like big time. We're not supposed to engage in the coup yet. So we're like, oh, should we go? How are we going to do this? It's makahiki. We're not supposed to, crap. Pule. Oh, that's okay. Tita Poliago heard us on Snow King. Covered the TNT site in 6 feet of snow. Like, oh, thank goodness. And would hold long enough that we actually we said, okay, we got to do our closing. And that was the year, this 2015. We had the call, we decided we're going to do our makahiki closing. And then our staff, our Lono Kukini police staff is carved by a carver in Kona, Uncle Kananika Ulukukui. And about a month before that, Uncle had come up to Hamakua. We were just getting our cultural center started, and he donated another key to us. And I remember asking him, "Oh, who's this key?" He goes, "I don't know. Hasn't revealed it. I have a feeling you won't tell me." I was looking at this key, It had Miho, big wah, Miho. He's in like a moko position, big mahiole. The top of it's kind of raw. I was like, oh, I just sat on that for a while. But then we're closing makahiki, and I began to think, you know what? For years, all over the place, everybody doing makahiki. No, 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 no. Who don't you hear? Ku. Why? Everybody's scared of ku. We've been taught and trained to fear ku. Why? Because for forever, the basic 4th grade Hawaiian studies class taught you ku is the god of war. How diminishing of the actual depth and level of all that ku represents. Ku is, there's 40,000 different realms of ku. Ku is the god of the upland forest. Ku mokuhali'i, ku ka'o'o, yeah? Ku ula, with our fishing, with our farming, with our upland forest. Yeah? There's ku ka'ohi alaka of the hula. There's all these other realms of ku. But all they taught us was war. And how scary it was. And again, ku was the apua that rolled over that concept of war, because war is a matter of politics. Ku had to do with structure and order, and what is the law? The law system of old Hawaii? Kapu. Ku is the one that maintained kapu. Okay? So again, or we're going to stay with just the 4th grade history book that was written by the white people anyway, written by foreigners, limiting our concept and instilling fear into our own people of our own culture. So at this closing of Makahiki, I was like, you know what? We know we're getting ready for the stand. We know some of us is like, we got to do something more for the mountain. We got to raise that ku energy. Okay? What that is. Now me, ku is not the rah. Ku is about structure, order, and discipline. On a battlefield, as ku reigns, it's not about the wild, uncontrollable rage you just unleash. In Lua, they teach you to try and get somebody into that state. That's why they have the chance to try and provoke, because you like them get out of focus and just be rage, because it's easy to take out somebody with no focus and you just rah. That's uncontrollable even for them. So easy for take them out. Ku is about more tactic. So in this day and age, what are these going to do for us? It's going to get us sitting in a prison cell for the next 20 years, and what good are you to the Lahui then? Ain't going to do nothing for us. The ihe is not the weapon of our time, and we will never stoop to the level that a gun would be a weapon. Never. I always say that is just the growing of the Neanderthal. Unable to go into any further depth of actually trying to solve problems. So then I looked at that key again that we were gifted. And I realized, this bugger is one cool. Where are we going to do them? We went down to Pu'uhuluhulu. We closed our makahiki. We rose ku, the very first vehe ku ceremony that we did. Did we know exactly what to do? No, we went try to look all over inside the books. There ain't much written about it at all. But we closed makahiki. We closed the lona. We did the whole kupu to the ocean. And we went open up ku. Literally, we had the ki'i wrapped. As soon as we saw the lona get wrapped, we opened up the ku ki'i. This cold wind blew right over us. Mai ke kukuluaka, we pa mai kahau anu. From the north, the realm that is ku, comes the cold wind. In that moment, we felt that. It was like, that's like you had to stand up and whoa. And I remember just turning to everybody and going, Kuno! And everyone just went down. And then we came up just to honor that, and then we all sat in a circle. And we spoke of our ku. What's going to be our self-discipline for the year to come? That's how we spoke of our ku. What are we going to stand by? What are we going to hold ourselves accountable to? And then that night at Pelicane Bay, I said I was too freaking tired for drive home. So I stayed there. I was going to sleep in my car. And I went to go put out one little nane, one little riddle on Facebook. Whoever was going to get it was there. I still remember it. It was like, "Wakapari ka hulu ka iyo me kamakani ole." The feathers of the hawk are rustling, but there is no wind. Halavai mapelikane. The next morning, only had like, I think 5 people saw it, got it, and came. First meeting to initiate some kind of plan of a stand for Mauna Kea was in the beach in Pelicane. In that early morning below Pu'uhuluhulu, the temple of state of our people. Myself, Kaho'okahi, Ivy and her husband, Ku'uipo, Lena Alahi. Yeah, we just started throwing ideas out there. What are we going to do? Oh, we can go up on the mountain. But we think, we're going to try to watch something. But we never get to do nothing because within the next few days we got calls, machines on the mountain. Oh, any plans went out the window. And the next day, actually, when we stopped them, or when I went up and they were already there, we talked story again. It was a lot of the same people. And we said, okay, what are we going to do? Oh, let's go home. We'll get ready. We'll come back in 2 days. Well, that plan got thrown out the window too because they were moving the next day. And we'll come back again. And if you ever saw that video, that's the day I carried the key this time, all the way up with me, and call them out. Where's your archaeologist? Where's your cultural advisor or observer? They weren't there. So what they do? They had to shut down and leave. And from that night, we started sleeping on the mountain. It was scary. That's when we found out they do 3 o'clock a.m. tours on the mountain. We saw vans coming up. It was ready for drive the cars right across the road. It was gorgeous. But what got us there? It was ritual. It was there. It was ritual that put us that challenged us to go higher than what we thought we could do. I'm not a runner. Look at this thing. But for that, I will push myself. So for here, I will push myself out of my comfort. We're all experiencing that right now. We're all out of our comfort right now, huh? Yeah. We're not even in the realm that we belong. We don't live up here. He said, not Kanaka. We belong a couple thousand feet lower. But we need to be here to help to protect this place. So that's that cool. And as you continue to speak of what is galvanizing us to stay here, to be able to have this many people together in one spot, how are we making this happen? Kapu Aloha. So for this crew that we carry, that Ki'i, from even back in 2015 became the symbol. Just a physical reminder to us of the discipline that we must carry in this movement. That's the coup. That's the coup energy. The wild, hue, unchecked rage does not help us here at all. It is in fact, it does the exact opposite. It can destroy us here. So self-discipline is what this coup symbolically holds us to. For our inner coup, that's the energy that we are calling on. So, in the sense of birth of ritual, in this story that's taken 2 sessions to go through, the mo'okuauhau, the genealogy that brought us here. Now, of course, this is for me, the genealogy that brought us to this point of physical stand. We kako and we send all of our aloha to those who continued, and Tipua, and Ke Aloha, and Oku, and all those guys who have been fighting in the court system long before this, and all those who fought against before that for other telescopes and such. They are what helped us to inspire ourselves to continue. That we realize that this system is not designed for us. It's deeply rooted in institutionalized racism to remove the Kanaka, to destroy the Hawaiian. I always tell people, you watch the movie Avatar, the blue one, not the water tender one, the alien one. That's a documentary. That is a documentary. That is showing, that is retelling the story of what happened to indigenous people everywhere. And most likely, if we don't change something about humanity right now, what we're going to continue to be if we do leave this planet. We can't even get it right on our own planet. What do you think we're going to do? What do you think these guys are opening up? It might be a beautiful science to them, but behind their science, there are other guys who are going to look their science for something else. What are they going to do? How do you think if we cannot malama our own planet and the precious life that we have in these places, what do you think right now, if we go to another planet, okay, one thing, you think any of us going to be on the next ship? No. Not going to be any of us. I'll tell you that. But how do you think they're going to conduct themselves? They're going to try to eat. So, that's for me, coming back into this realm of ritual, what I wanted to lay out here in this long genealogy. I still give credit for all of us being here right now, all the way back to the sacred fire of the Pit River people. Because if I wasn't brought to that ceremony there, and not to say it's me, it's about, at this day and age, whereas we are exposed to the whole world right now, as I look across here, we are wearing everything not of us. We are wearing things from all over the planet. We are dressing and looking like not our culture. This is not our culture. You guys saw this shirt. I'll tell you a story about it after. But, as this is not our culture, but here, so we're always eating from the buffet of the world, to quote Uncle Sam Ka'ai. But for a while, as Uncle said, we've been taken to eating from the buffet of the world, yet neglecting the plate of our kupuna. So, what can we adopt from the world that's going to help to inspire us? We're adopting all the rest of this stuff. So to be able to say that that was shared with permission, that's important, yeah. That's important. With permission and respect. That they shared this gift with us. That tethered to bringing consciousness to much more than just the people that take Hawaiian studies classes or just in a hula halau, but going out to the community no matter where you are and welcoming everybody in to that ceremony to Ka'apuni the Moku, to then inspiring us to take a physical stand. And here we are today. Ritual is what brought us here. Do you remember the original intention I said for the ceremony, for the Lono Makaiti ceremony, was that? Pray for the Aina and the consciousness of the people to Aina. And we run that. With each step, with each breath, with each aching body that you meet, that I said, by day 2, we all icy body now. With all that sacrifice was for exactly this. So is the ritual working? Yes. The level of consciousness of the citizens and people of Hawaii to Aina has exponentially grown. This is what we've been praying for. This is what we've been sacrificing for. That people are going to stand up because their consciousness, they're conscious that these things are not porno for the Aina, which means it's not porno for us. This is what the ceremony was. And so even more as I watch year after year, more activation, like we better keep this bugger going because it's doing something. Another aspect to that if you missed my story, just for those, so we're, because yeah, we got knocked left and right by, college professors, doctors, cultural people. They were like, oh, that is not a cultural practice. Can you cite this or no? According to my research, da 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 da. Sorry, I'm not researching it, we're just living it. But but any mortal will say, because in the end, our kupuna only kept the ceremonies that worked going. If they did a whole ritual and nothing came back from that, that's about changes baga. If it don't work, why are you gonna do them? Every single ceremony, ritual, cultural practice had to start with something. There had to be a need for it. And do you think they probably made mistakes? Yeah. And so they would fix it over time. And or it worked for some time and then they didn't see the effects coming back. So maybe they had to adapt something. Or maybe someone figured out something that would carry the prayer even stronger. We need to allow ourselves that. We are the people of this land. And I'm sorry, but nowadays ceremonies have to change. Sometimes we cannot use the same material of our kupuna. Why? Because they're endangered. Or they're extinct. Or we do not have them anymore. Okay? Some people will tell me, well, you can't do that ceremony. Why? Well, you need a chief to do it. Well, I guess we're screwed then. What are we going to do? So, in this case, the Pu'uhuluhulu is also one where there is no rank. It's the people's ceremony. Belongs to the Maka'inana, the everyday people. Because you know what? If the chief not going to do it, if we don't want chief to do them, if we don't have the kahuna to do them, then what? We just do nothing? No, then we need to awamore kuleana. We don't stumble along the way? Probably, we did. But look, this is the result of combined prayers of many over many years. And just to speak to this now too. As our Makahiki ceremony was inspired by Pit Reformation, a number of my students here in Hawaii, they're from Japan. And over a number of years of participating with us here, they were inspired. They actually went to California and participated in Ancestral Land. 3 years ago, they went home to Japan and were so inspired that they began a ceremonial run there in Japan. It's called Tusky. 4 days, they run around their sacred mountain of Mount Fuji. They've made it their own. They've connected to their own pule and their prayer. It has galvanized their people. Do you remember a few weeks ago, and you've been watching everything in Japan? All the Japanese people who have been bringing consciousness, who have been on the road, passing out the flyers, marching, all that. You know who that is? That's the Tusky runners. Those are the runners who ran with us because they were inspired by us. We were inspired by the Pit Rivers. So the ceremonial running has now threaded from the sacred mountain of Ya'aku to Mauna Awakea to Mauna Fuji, tethering these people across the Pu'uhonua Yakanaloa. They continue to stand with us in California, they continue to stand with us in Japan, and we must continue to stand with them. Powerful Ho'ailona. Amazing signs. That's why no matter what any mortal, whether they be college professor, kupuna, makua, politician, whatever. You know what? When we did our prayers and our ceremony, the signs and the ho'ailona of our elements spoke louder than anything. That was like, we must be doing something right. So if you missed from last class, Big Rivers in the very first year, and every year I make sure to invite them. They come. Because they're all fundraising. They fundraise all the time to bring the people. One year they brought 45 people. I was a little bit like, okay, Kanakas, we better step up to get more of them coming out than our own people. They say fundraise to come and run for us, with us. And some of these guys, you guys, they fly in right at the beginning of the ceremony, and we finish the last meal, and they leave to the airport. That's how dedicated they are, and how much why it's so important that we kako as for me, for this small group of people, well, this small community that face so much hurt and genocide. Especially this year, I want to make sure that they have big aloha to them, because that's going to help to empower them. That they, as small as they might feel, empowered and helped to stimulate all of this. They were so essential. Though many of us haven't heard this story, so I wanted to share this story today. The action of a few can inspire the many. Real change, what is that saying? There's a saying. Real change only comes by something about just a few passionate people. Or starts with only a few passionate. Oh, I'm messing it up. You're fine. Listen to me. But every great movement wasn't started by only a handful of dedicated people. I'm so sorry. Oh, this is the word for today, and I just want to read it to everybody that's here for this. It's just oh, right here. Oh, Samana for the day. September 13th. May you become as the waves of one sea. Who? Stars of the same heaven. Fruits adorning the same tree. Roses of one garden that in order that through you the oneness of humanity may establish its temple in the world of mankind. For you are the ones who are called to uplift the cause of unity among the nations of the earth. Oh.
You guys never read the Araten all week long.
Ho Ailona. Right there. We take them all. Ho Ailona. Eyala. So, to kind of wrap this up, the ceremonies must continue. And what we have seen taking place here over the past month and a half is birthing of ritual. Kanaka Owiwi. We are determining and we are creating for here and now. We are rooted with our ancient chants, our ancient hula, and our contemporary written for here and now. And we must continue to haku more, to continue to write more, to continue the legacy of our kupuna, of all these chants. And these ceremonies, bringing us back into the rhythm of our own world, the rhythm of our planet. That's what's needed. It says it all. For too long, we have put our own personal wants before the needs of our honua. Yeah. I live by that. That's what I did. You don't want me sitting at your camp. You don't have nothing. Bare minimum. But so to honor this story, that this movement was not only inspired by a handful of us over here, that we were able to do what we did that might have inspired you because we were inspired by others, even locally and afar. This is my story. And I know we were Antipua greatly inspired even before or during this time by the I Don't Know More movement, started by 4 women in Canada that sparked the whole movement. So you never know how when your spirit is calling to you, what your pono intention, what your pono act can create. Who would have thought? You gotta watch out what you put on sacred Facebook. Yeah? But again, following now, we're always striving for pono. Are we gonna make mistakes? Yes. It's about how we resolve those mistakes and learn from them. That's another basis of the whole Aikamumu chant. You really get that? It's raging, it's chaotic, it's violent. But we need to get through that. Amalu kapaliu kaweae. From your face being over. Two. You cannot sit in the rage of the fire. It will destroy you. We are not meant to sit in that rage. It's about let the lava cool. And then what? What happens after the lava cools? The healing begins. The forest can regrow. You have grown bigger. But if you're stuck in a fire, then you're stuck in a rage and nothing can grow out of that. So acknowledging that sometimes sometimes I say, Mahalo TMT for being the conduit to wake our asses up. There's been other conduits, but I think we just missed the boat. But this is a big one. This is our Takain avatar, the very ending. This is that sacred place. Home tree, that's what happened. They stripped us from our ancestral homelands. They pushed us back onto very few places. They're pushing our families out of our homeland. And now they're coming after our most sacred. 13 strikes, it's not gone yet. We're still here. Yeah, I like write that big red bird thing. But that's what that whole movie is based on. There's still kauna. Look at these things with kauna. What is the message they're trying to tell you? Yeah? Okay, I'm losing my ritual talk. Okay, but so in that aspect, seeing the rooted deeply in the continuity of our ancient tradition and our ancient histories, and following with historic documentation. Yes, we saw the rise of our people at a very healthy time, and then we saw, monarchy and kingdom that barely lasted 80 years, and that whole thing fell. Now we need to build again. Pu'uhuluhulu. Going all the way back in some ways, being stimulated from a little camp in Waipio Valley called Pu'uhuluhulu Kumuhana. Just going back to these origins is pretty cool. So, being here, suffering through some of the extremes of this aina, instill this in everybody. Take ownership of your mana. Take ownership of your magic. When you pull it and you see reaction, own it. Screw that foreign concept of, oh, it's just coincidence, you didn't do it. I will pull it and the bottle and go, I did it. I did it with my aina. With my kupuna, we made it happen. We need to own that. Oh, okay, this is my closing. I always get 30 closing thoughts, sorry. So I have another project that I do annually. I have a cultural exchange program in Central Europe, in Poland. And as they tell me every time I'm up there, they're like, why are you in Poland? It's like, why not? Yeah. It's a long series of things that happened that somehow I found myself over there. And it started off with mostly a bunch of, ladies, they love the Hawaiian and the fake ladies, and they make Hawaiian. I was like, oh, no, I don't do that. So, but then, started to get a lot more deeper questions. Kind of going deeper spiritually. Like, well, okay, wait. What do you guys really want? What's this connection to hula? Because if it's just for a hula because you love hula, okay, then man, I go teach you, But you're asking deeper questions. So what do you really want? And a number of them reveal that we want to connect with the earth again. So understand, in Poland, it's predominantly Catholic, very, very in some places. And I've never seen so many crosses in my life. There's all different kinds. One get one race with one little thing over here, one race we get two things over here, this one get one more. I never know had so many different kinds. The joke. But Catholicism came into Poland almost 1,500 years ago. Okay? Prior to that, indigenous Polish is Slavic tradition. That's their indigenous. Right? When we speak about indigenous communities and stuff, most of the time our Ilikia community is removed from thought, yeah? I've always been invested in this because my mama is an Irish Scottish lady that was slapping herself up here in the mountain. Remember that? Yeah. To defend the mountain. Remember that story? Don't forget that. So going into Europe was essential for me. And So over the years, it started to develop because when I heard that they want to connect with the earth, I realized, okay, now I know what I can share with you guys. First thing, someone was like, "Oh, your culture is so beautiful. It's so much more beautiful than ours. I love your culture more." I was like, "Oh, just because you said that, I don't like teach you. If you cannot respect your own, hell no, you're not gonna get mine." And two, you want to connect to the earth. It ain't gonna work through Hawaiian culture here in Poland. Hawaiian culture is designed to help you connect to a tropical island ecosystem. It is designed for that. It was created by that. That's why. You want to connect with Aina, you gotta tap into your own ancestors in this land. Right off the bat was, you cannot find, it was all destroyed long time ago, you cannot, da, da, da. I first said, do not put our people on a pedestal. We are just still pulling ourselves out of near extinction. Don't put us on a pedestal like we have all the answers. Because trust, I've been in Europe. There are plenty of Hawaiians up there making like they're all thick, the big monopoly and money is going up there with tuna and all these things. $500 a session. Oh yeah, they think they're hiding because they're far across the way from us, yeah? Oh, not anymore. Popping bubbles up there. But taking advantage of people that want to truly connect. That's why I connect them. Because I want to help. But I'm not teaching you my culture for you be us. I'm going to teach you some stuff for you to find a parallel as you did. Because they were starting to, some things, it's been so beaten out of them over so long, much longer than us. I think same story, just much longer ago. Us 200 years, them 1,500 years. There's, and systematically trying to erase that indigenous culture. Some things they didn't recognize was right in front of them. Oh, we don't have the ancient stories and legends like you guys have. Looking at the crest of Warsaw, of Warszawa, it's a mermaid with a sword and shield. I said, what's that? Oh, this is the lady of the river. That's Shava. It's an old story. There was a man, a farmer, his name was Vors, and then the mermaid in the river, his name was Shava. And they fell in love, and then he stayed there. That establishes the village that then became the whole city. I was like, that's a mo'olelo. And they're like, oh, they didn't even realize that is your ancient. Grab it, own it, and now we have a pilina. Because we have vahine hi'oi'a too. We have mermaids. We have a connection. Fun story. My first couple days up there, he was asking me, what do you want to see in Poland? I was like, I have no idea. I have no background understanding about Poland, so I don't know what. But I know culturally, I am taught. You go to someone else's land, you better respect the gods of that land. See how we think. Our kupuna already no get other gods out there. Our gods are associated right here. We can see their parallels in other places. When we go other places, they're other gods. You make sure you respect them. So I said, to connect, I know if I can visit your forests, your mountains, your rivers, and your sea, I'll be happy. Okay. Then it took me about 2 hours outside of the city, kind of out in the countryside, a little forest area. Met this uncle. And this is already after the conversation of, oh, we don't have, you cannot find, it's all gone. And we are walking out. The uncle wanted to go take us out to the forest. And he's walking and he doesn't speak a lick of English, and he's just pointing out this stuff, and one of my girls is translating for me. And one of the ones says, oh, you cannot find, and he's pointing out all these plants. This one good if you have sore stomach. This one good if you get this stuff in your eyes. And I can see her as she's translating for me. She's learning. I kid you not. One of them would go ask me, can you teach us Hawaiian medicine? I said, why? Every time you get stuck, Duru, like we said, you kukuy nuts. You're going to be stuck for a while, I tell you. Hawaiian medicine is about learning, using the la'au of your place. Okay, you like learn la'au la'po'au? You gotta learn yours. Yeah, there it is. And so, you cannot find, you cannot, Did you ask your elders? Because this uncle was talking all these plants, I see her learning. And then I remember seeing this big tree in the field, so I kind of was intrigued, and I walked up to the tree and I said, whoa. Like, kind of like I could feel that there's something special about you. And the uncle comes up, he goes, Dom. He's like, why can't you just call me Dom? What? He said, Dom. Dom is the word for the sacred tree, the white oak. Beautiful big tree. And she's translating, and he was saying that he started going off. More. This is the tree of power. This is the sacred tree of the ancients. They didn't have temples. They prayed at these trees. And then he revealed, this was the tree where the highest god of ancient Poland would come to. So, oh, a god. That's who I was looking for. Who do I call to? And my parents did. I thanked them. Perun. Perun was one of the ancient high gods in Slavic in Poland. Perun, you can see in the lightning storms. And I tell you, we went through a couple. There's thunder, there's lightning storms when the bugger comes through. This gnarly, the bugger whip across that land. And he was sharing how the dome attracts the lightning. Therefore, it's the throne of the god. And I remember this. She was saying, oh, Perun. But Perun is lightning. And that's the name of the god. I was like, girl, you realize what he's teaching you right now? Same as us. Same as us. Pele. You know her, right? Pele is the Akua, or Pele is also the Vahine Ali'i who was deified. But what is the Hawaiian word for magma? Lava is not a Hawaiian word, L-A-V-A. What is the Hawaiian word for lava? Pele. The element is the god. It is the same. It's like, girl, that's the same as us. Perun is the word for lighting, and Perun is the god. You see it? I was also like, oh. She was like, oh, because here you are. What they were just telling me the night before, you cannot find any of the gods. Oh, it's all wiped out. Girl, I'm here for 2 days. I will find the name of your high god. Let's do this. Like, they're waiting for you. They repeat. You just had to ask the question and take the journey, and look, they're coming. The La'aula Pa'au. The tree is called. And now they start to recognize, even on their police, their badges. On the badge, get the dome leaves with the acorn. You see, the kupuna, they were smart. They're hiding all these bits of your culture in there. You gotta get investigated. Go look. Okay? Oh, you start digging in there, you start to find, even way out in the villages, they still get witches. I love witches. Yeah? Okay, not Wizard of Oz. Why? You know who did that? That was the Christians and the Catholics. Did that to the ancient, the powerful women. In these ancient European cultures, yeah, I myself on my Celtic side, you know, women priestesses were very powerful. The priestesshood was very, very powerful. The sacred feminine, very much there. Now, Romans coming in, powerful women, oh no. They cannot have that. Because it's all patriarchy, right? So what do they begin to do? They begin to demonize these women. Their incantations that they call to summon the earth elements, witchcraft. They start to demonize these things. They start to turn the beautiful priestess into an old ugly. All the movies. In fact, the word witch comes from the word Wicca, which was the word for these ancient priestesses. Wicca. So I've always taken to this when you do research. Anything that a Catholic or a Christian author says is demon worship or witchcraft, go to it. That's your indigenous practices. That's us. They call us demons. They call our kahunas everything witchcraft. So that in translation, that's how you find the indigenous. So even here in Poland, so we've been there over 7 years. 7 years I've gone to Poland now. We are helping with this whole renaissance of Slavic tradition there. By helping parallel to Hawaiian culture, some stuff, to help them give them another perspective to look at all this information that they pull up. Because if they look at this information through Catholic trained eyes, they get shut down, they get turned off, and they get scared. It doesn't make sense. But looking at these things through another fellow indigenous earth-based culture, now it makes sense. So over the number of years, we've been able to restore a number of different ceremonial practices in Poland. They're finding their traditional garb, their traditional songs. And I'll close with this. Maybe. 3 years, when was that first? Oh, it was 2015. 2015. I was on that cultural exchange. Oh, I'm sorry, no, 2014, the year before. I was on that exchange, and two of my main students up there, they're the ones who really take charge. So all of my students in Poland, I teach them some hula to stick it together, but they're all required, before they're allowed to do any hula, they have to have Slavic studies first. You're not going to touch our stuff until you have your own foundation first. Especially because you're in Poland. You better know that first. So, they have to do that. They had found, way buried down, this old poem. And the translation is all about the ancient god, about Peru. And the lyrics are just like, we could see the images, like, wow. Now, as a chanter, I can understand the kauna. And it talks about how everything bows before him. The animals will run, all things, when he comes, all things will bow before him. What's that talking about? Lightning, thunderstorms in Poland. Holy crap, when those winds come, everything is... That is the Peru coming. Let's talk about the power of these elements. And they asked me, can you help us create an air for the song? I said, absolutely not. Because my sound is rooted in this land. You need to tap into your sound. Not going to be tainted with something that's not of this land. Oh, but we don't know. I said, stop it. We already went over this a couple of years ago. You find every bit of Polish, even the folk culture and everything, are all remnants in there. And in time they researched, they found something called white singing. Something a lot of the elders still were doing. This really beautiful, powerful singing that they do. And I told them, and whatever you don't know, then we're going to, and as we do, as we're talking about in this ritual, why, if we cannot research the information, then we're going to have to re-find it like our kupuna did. You know what we got to do? We got to go sit out in the forest for a couple years. We got to go be in the ocean longer and relearn it again. We got to listen back to the Aina that created it in the first place. So I told him, find whatever info, whatever old sound you can, and then go spend your time in the forest. Well, we were on a kayaking trip. We go kayak down the river. We were going there. We were stuck because two of them was gone for an extra 2 hours. Oh my God. And they finally came up and said, it came to us. Them being in their natural environment, the sound came to them. And it was, I don't like him. But this was the first year I was going to introduce them to ceremony. Now we find in ancient Slavic tradition, they are sun worshippers. In ancient, I carry some of it. You see that? That is ancient Slavic. Yeah. A lot of circular things. The closest thing they had to temple are the rune stone circles. There's still some of these places in Poland. So I'm going to introduce them to the concept. I taught them that year. Just real basic, but things that connect to the element of the sound. And I said, and then they're all having to research and find, and they had some elders come and share all these different things that they're going to do, their own Slavic. And we were there during the solstice, summer solstice. Super powerful time. They said, we're going to do sunrise ceremony. Forgot in the summer, the sun come up 3 o'clock in the morning over there. I said, oh boy. And we happened to be out, we went out in the countryside for this workshop, and where are we going to do the ceremony? I put them all these questions. Where are we going to do them? Well, we're out in the forest, and just so happened about 200 yards from this place that we were staying, there was a grove of dome, a grove of the huge white oak trees on a field, so it's perfect. And, we're going to go there. Okay. Set the whole thing up. What's your traditional attire? Lin. You know lin? Linen? That's old. That's ancient. Comes from a little reed plant. I have no idea. That was their stuff. So paralleling these things, there's a kind of Hawaiian, Polish, Hawaiian, Slavic. So they make kiheis. I taught them kihei, but they use lin. So bringing some of them to them. But in this Hawaiian teaching. Then I taught them lau kapala. Leaf printing. But what kind of leaf? Layer leaf. Because whatever you're going to choose to be on top of that, that's going to be katabaga pretty. Better have some mana to that. They chose to use the leaf of the dome. So the dome was printed, lau kapala. So they're playing the image. They all wear their embers. I taught them basic hakule. But if we're going to ceremony, it's not for prettiness. So we spent a lot of time out in the forest. And then I go, we don't know. And there's another plant that was very special. Again, this is building ritual to a people who felt it lost. We spent time in the forest. And we talked about all these different plants. And one tree, I said, okay, here we go. What is this tree? Oh, that's bzoza. Bzoza. Okay, what is that? It's birch. You're familiar with birch. I wasn't, now I am. But bzoza. Okay, I said, everybody, out of all of you who come from different parts of Poland, what do you know about bzoza? Scientifically, historically, culturally, anything. And so everybody's kind of sharing different thoughts. It's like, oh, well, at one time, because of the oils in the bzoza, they chop it down and use for firewood a lot, because the oil actually helps to keep burning. Then another girl chimed in, oh yeah, actually there was a certain time that you banned the chopping down because so much was being chopped down, they were running out of, it was going in danger. And then another girl chimed in and said, oh, well, my grandma always told us, if you have a fever, go sleep under the bzoza. What is a similar element into this tree? Heat, fire, fever. Something on this tree and the flame. Okay? Conjure that and a bunch of other plants that we went through like that. Just connecting with it. They have another tree that we found called Oshika. It looks like Olapa. But you know the Olapa tree, the leaves big, yeah? It looks just like same leaf structure but very small. The top of the leaf, dark green. Underneath, silver. And when the wind blows, it goes like Olapa. But it sparks the whole tree. You see the silver flashing underneath. And Oshika is to dance. So, it's like Olapa. Olapa is to dance. The Olapa Bagagulanet. So finding all these parallels. So you see, earth-based culture, we can speak directly to other earth-based cultures all around the world. Okay? Now, so we finally decide they have their whole pa'ahu now, the whole attire for this ceremony. 3 o'clock in the morning, we go out to the tree. They have found and over time researched what a proper offering is. Because my first year I landed over there and they never come bring me one leg. I was like, oh, hello, that's my culture. By next year I come back, you guys better have your own. Okay. And I did. When I came back the second year, when coming down the escalator, there it was, with bread, salt, and meat. Oh, I love the meat. But they were so like crying, we found it. Our elders and what we found, this is how we greeted and we honored our visitors. Salt is a very precious thing up there too. They don't get the sea salt so much, but they have salt mines. Very hard to get. And bread is such a laborious thing to make, really, from the growing and the gathering. And then the meat, it's connected with the honey. Anyway, so We are preparing for ceremony. We are facing the dome. The sun is rising. They're going to make their offerings. Those girls have still not sang that song to me because they didn't want to hear it. They're like, no, this is going to be strictly you guys. You guys take the lead. They're like, do we start with the hula? I was like, absolutely not. Has to be you first. Then you can ho'ike something else that you've learned. But you gotta be you. They came, they laid their offerings. And then the trees, it is still. There is not a slightest breeze. It's a kind of creepy kind of fog on the grass. You know, like the cemetery kind of fog. It was like that. It was beautiful. Kind of creepy, but beautiful. And all of a sudden, they laid down the offerings. And these trees, I kid you not, just went. I was like, oh! And all the other girls went, whoa! And then those two girls offered this song. An ancient poem that they found. And a tune that they tapped into by their own land. And it was one of the most powerful, haunting sounds I've ever heard. And it was just like, and the trees, if they never go again, and somebody goes like, I said, you know what this is? It's your ancestors telling you, thank you. This land has probably not heard those prayers in so long. They're waiting for you. And it was powerful, so powerful. And lo and behold, after that ceremony, we knew that back here on the mountain in Hawaii, at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m., they were going to rise and be here on the mountain for summer solstice. It is 12 hours ahead over there. So we decided we're going to do same time for the sunset, which is actually 12 noon over there, but you know, the sun all different places or something. But so we said we're going to be there to do sunset in alignment with Hawaii. And an elder came to the camp and said, just about half an hour drive from here, there's a place of power. The ancient runestone circles of an ancient village that's only so far away. And they're all like, we want to go. So it's your call. I'm not going to say nothing. This is not my turf. And we went there and we pulled up. Oh my God. Okay, there's literally a box like this, like one building like this. One man sitting inside for this parking lot in the middle of the forest. And it's like one little sign over there and get the archaeological site, but it's like nothing. One old man just sitting there. We pull up, they all start coming up, and they start pulling out all their regalia. They're getting dressed, everything. And I see this old man. We walk over to one lady, said something, and I walk back. And I said, and she came over, she goes, he said, because I guess there's a number of these stone circles over there. He said, he came up and all he said was, the more powerful one is deeper inside. This man, he was honed in. He saw ceremony coming out, and he directed us. The first one we saw, Horabaga, when all big and fancy was all cleaned out, he was like, the more powerful one inside. And we got there, and there was happened to be some people there. They had a little fire going in the middle. And it was beautiful. The women just assembled. And I'm standing outside like, I'm not walking inside there. I don't know anything. And they're like, oh, you can come in there. I was like, can I? Yeah, oh, okay, because I'm not going to walk into someone else's turf. And they began their prayers again. And literally, people emerged out of the forest. And by the time we were halfway through the ceremony, all the way around us, people had gathered. Everybody was being drawn. All these Polish people, there was something ancestral in their bones, in their cells, that was calling them there. It was so powerful to see. And yeah, so in the journey of ritual in the 21st century, what is this entail? What is the function and the reason for these ceremonies, particularly why they need to come back? It goes hand in hand. Look what's happened to the world. The world is out of balance because we are out of balance. Ritual helped to keep people in time and rhythm with their natural environment, to eat what was available to you at that time, to gather what was plentiful, not when it was at its lowest. These ceremonies conducted and continue to remind us that these things, nowadays you like eat from the world. I want lychee. It's not lychee season. Well, I want lychee. Well, tough. Now, one thing that I saw in Poland, another cultural practice that they didn't realize was still their culture. In the summertime, in the weekend, the city is empty. Everybody goes out to the countryside. In the late summer, you know what it is? Gurki. Gurki. The yellow mushroom is all over. Everyone's going to go gather the mushroom. I was like, that's your guys' practice. They were like, oh yeah, I guess it is tradition. Yes, it is. So it's beautiful to have, just to help guide them back. Because we're, in a sense, we are still trying to rebuild. We're still reclaiming. And so we're really honing in as much as we can. So sometimes, even when they had it, when it never broke, they didn't realize that it is that. Yeah? So for me, in my research and my travels, something I have found that just finds the parallels is areas and places where the indigenous people are still strong, the environment is still healthy. Matter of fact. Places where indigenous people are not following their indigenous practices and or have been annihilated or replaced, the environment is dying. Hawaii is dying. Anyone else want to say anything else? I'm going to tell you, look at that Bolohead Mountain. Look at these empty fields right here. Look at those naked pu'u. Realize 75% of our forests are gone. Well, I forget her name, but that one lady who researched, she went from Waipio Valley all the way to Hilo on horseback. She rode about 1,000 rivers. That whole trek today, maybe 5 rivers have water. We are not living in a healthy Hawaii. We are about to see the last of everything. Unless we shift. How are we going to shift? We need to get back into the rhythm. And we need to start taking back the power to make the decisions to make sure that these things are protected. Okay? Right now, the closest things that we had to those ones who keep the kapu to make sure you don't catch the wrong thing wrong time of year are all sitting up here protecting the road. Because up to me, we should have like 1,000 DLNR officers and they're all hired, they're all local people from their hometown watching their own waras. Can we do that? Oh yeah. We just got to get in the right positions to make that happen. But ritual is what reminds us of that. Ritual is what reminds us of our place in the greater scheme. That's what Kamakaibo was talking about this morning. And why this ritual that we do 3 times a day is so critical. It's reminding us all why we are here. And we notice, I'm just going to say, a lot of the issues we have up here tend to be people who don't come to ritual. They don't come, and if that's a scary word, or ceremony is a scary word, you're not coming to a reminder. We tend to lose and forget why we're here. And then all that little mundane humanness starts to creep in. Yeah. That's why we try to remember. This is a ceremony. This right here, to stand here to protect the mountain, is a ceremonial practice. We need to protect the sacred. Okay, I'm dragging on. Sorry. Was that my closing statement half an hour ago? Sorry. But this is just, for me, these are reasons that also echo as to why I'm here. This is the things that how can I go back to my students in Poland and tell them they need to protect their sacred forest if I'm not going to be here protecting one of the most sacred places in our entire culture? Yeah. This is how I bring truth behind all of the teachings of all of my kumu and all of the kupuna. Because if they tell us and they taught us this place is sacred, and then, oh, wow, they will go put those on. then we're our kupuna lying? Because if we're gonna claim that we Hawaiian and this is my land, this is my culture, then you better start acting like it. We better start doing it. Is it easy? No, it's not. But we got to. Why? Because the Aina is calling us. That's the most important thing. The Aina is calling us for us to take back our role as one of the endemic species of this ecosystem. Promise. I'm closing with this concept. The worst thing that happened, or that we see that I think is happening, is that even when you look at science today, when they talk about and study ecosystems, they look at the animals, they look at the plants, they look at the water, they look at all those things. What are they not looking at? The people. Why have we excluded ourselves from ecosystem? We are treating ourselves like aliens, like we have no part in the ecosystem. And that is what separates modern human and us, our native peoples. Native, indigenous, and I don't know what the right term of whatever term is now. Native, indigenous, endemic, I don't know what they call us now. But the Kama'aina is just as important into the ecosystem as the koa tree. Pit River country, those Indians I told you about. They have been there since the ice receded from the Ice Age. And a ceremony they have always conducted had to do with the earth fire. Ceremonially, I think it's right before winter, they would burn the forest. They would go and do all these little fires. And all these little fires would go, and all the branches and stuff that fell throughout that year, it would burn all that up. Areas where all the seeds grew too thick, and it was real thick, and everything was thick, it would kind of thin that out. And in that, the ashes would go down, and it kept the forest floor quite open. And it kept the grasses and everything growing. And the deer were still plentiful. And the wolves and everything, or the whole ecosystem. But you know what? They've been doing it since for literally, we talk 2,000 years. 10,000 years they've been doing that. So but plants, certain plants over there, they cannot grow unless there's fire. The seeds need fire to break off that outer tough husk so that then they can grow. The California Indian nearly wiped out 80 years ago, 100 years ago. What are we dealing with? What's one of the biggest problems in California now? Fire. Why? Because the natural cleaners of the forest were removed. So now you have years and years and years of buildup of branches and twigs and dead debris and thick overgrowing of tight things. So now when there's a fire, it is just rampant and it goes huge because there's so much kindling there. There's so much debris. Those who kept the forest for clean are gone. So the entire ecosystem is suffering because of the removal of critical species. Look at us. Our people went out and fed the wild. A kanaka lawai'as doesn't mean you just fish. You don't just take fish. Half your job was going out there and feeding the fish. You're not going to feed them, you don't take them. Every family up and down the coast, they had their koa. One kupuna explained to me like this, what's the sacred number in Hawaii? 4. We don't count with our fingers. We count with a gap in between. 1, 2, 3, 4. Traditional Hawaiian counting system is all done by 4s. Right? You can put the fishtails into there. 4 by 4 by 4. You feed, you gather. You feed, you gather. You always make sure that your stock is full. You no feed, no want too much fish. You no take. Period. Go eat something else. But you had to give. So imagine that. Our people were out there feeding the fish. That's helping them to grow and the population great. Yeah. Look how we conducted our fields.
Did we go take water from one side of the island and bring them all the way to the desert side of the island? No, that's called stupid. You don't want too much water, that is your limitation on what you can do there. How did we grow all of our lo'i and everything? What is the law of the mahia, of the cow farmer? Wherever you get your water, you put that water back. You take them out of Wailoa River, and about going to go back into Wailoa River. Better than how you found it. Where do you make your lo'i? You can go make your lo'i up on the top of one hill. No. You put your lo'i down by the river. You find one nice marshy area, you can convert that. A lo'i is mimicking nature. Lo'i is mimicking natural swamplands. Yeah? Just bringing some lono. Yeah? Lono is also a god when it comes to agriculture. It teaches how you manipulate nature to a point where it's sustained without being negative to the space. That's the lono teachings. Yeah? So to be able to just bring a little bit of structure into that, yeah. So we do our panewai, yeah. Do we use cement for the panewai? No. Why? Because you want that wall to break if it needs to. Yeah, some people, they're like, I don't like doing the work and go fix them all the time. Well, then what happened when the big water comes? You go right into your lo'i, wipe you out. You make the rock wall soft. So when you get big water, the wall won't fall down, the river going to go down its natural course. And when Pao, get everybody together, Pa'ina, build up your wall. You're good. And in that, you're actually also mimicking the natural flow of the river. You're creating natural cascades. Yeah, the same kind puka, so the opai and the hinana and everything can still live in that ecosystem. They can even go down into the taro patch. That's why in our taro patches, you can still find the koloas inside there. You can get all the fish inside there. We had fish and boy in the same thing. It was the natural, just with a little bit of order. The lokoia, the fish pond, is the same thing. What are they doing? They are mimicking and maintaining and just bring a little bit of structure to the already existing estuaries. Where are our fish ponds? Our fish ponds are always located where a freshwater system enters into saltwater. That's where they are. Why? Because when you get the kane and kanaloa together, what happens? The mulivai, where you get the mixing of fresh and salt. That is where you get the most abundant growth of limo. That's why the estuaries. So naturally, a lot of even our deep water fish, they will come in and lay their eggs. And then, so the little fry will go and live in the reeds, yeah, in the safer areas until they get bigger and they can come out to the ocean. So what did our people do? We did a little bit of structure by putting this wall in these natural areas. Yeah, the rivers still coming, or punabai or springs are feeding into where the salt can still come through the wall. That's why not cement wall. Gotta have pukas, so the salt can still come in and out. But the big barracudas and the big eels and the mano cannot get into there. And we get the makaha. Yeah, we get the fish gates. And that's how we were able to produce thousands and thousands of tons of fish. And we fed those fish. Yeah. So, now these ding-dongs making fish farms out there with nets and making zombie chemical fish. Ay. But that's how we were able to live in this place for thousands of years and not become a detriment, but actually an asset. We became part of the natural ecosystem. We did not move into a place and change the place for us. We came into a place and we fit ourselves into the cycles. We became part of it. And we thrived. Our people thrived. So, I always think, if we think about this, if we start moving forward as a people, we think we're going to have a nation, we better rethink our economics. Look at our traditional model. You know what all that tells me? Our people were master of endowment funds. You know how an endowment fund works? You have your principal, yeah? You put that into that account. Let it sit. You can feed it, and it'll begin to grow and grow and grow and grow. And you can take off the top. If the more you put in, you get more. Yeah, that's feeding the ko'a, feed the ko'a. You get more production. You take that, you harvest the extra. But if you ever get back down to the principle, you stop. You never cut into your principle. Let it grow back. And you will always have. Yeah? But nowadays we're running on a capitalist model. And what we do, yeah, we've already wiped out the principle and then we're borrowing. You know what that principle ended, you know what that meant? That's a dead ecosystem. So what we're doing now, even here in Hawaii, 75% of all of our fish that we eat around here is coming from someplace else. All of our food is coming from Timbuktu. We have so much. Can we grow our own food here? Yeah. We're just stuck in some stupid model that sends it all away. We have to invest locally. What? See, this is my brain. Our ancient ritual influences this type of thinking. Aina-based ecosystem, Aina-based economy, self-sustaining, environmentally sound. We had too many generations that forgot about that. And now we're on the precipice of complete collapse. And if ever you get tired of having to think like this, I tell you, look at the face of a child and tell them, sorry, I was too bored with it, so I didn't do what I had to do. You're going to suffer for it. I get kind of sharp on that, as I've been a teacher since I was 19, teaching from preschool to 12th grade. And that's what really said it for me. Having to look into the eyes of Keiki every single day, even though they're not mine, they're mine. And I'm responsible for every single one of them. And I love them as if I made them myself. So I cannot look at them in the eyes and ask anything of them if I'm not willing to do that work myself. I will never turn to my Keiki and tell them, you need to chant stronger. But if I'm asked to chant, I'm not going to chant. Well, then you better shut your mouth. Actually, no, don't shut your mouth. You better get your mouth exercised and chanting stronger. We need to get away beyond that old stigma of do as I say, not what I do. If you find yourself in that too much, then you better fix what you're doing. Wait, is that right? Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. Okay. So, what informs this is ritual, is ceremony that brings us always back to the main source. Nana ike kumu. Heard that term before? Look to the source. But we're not going back there anymore. We're constantly looking out of basics. Ritual is meant to bring you right back down to the basics, right back to the understanding. I shared the other day about, we focus in on what we got to do, but you need to be able to pull back and look at the broader picture. Because if you only focus on your one little thing right here, you might be missing the concept of how you are not now part of the bigger picture. And what you're doing right here might actually be negative to the bigger picture. Yeah? That is the example today. I just got to do my job. I got to do my job. What we just heard today, they got to do the job. But if you look back and realize that what your job is actually really doing on a bigger scale, that should give you more strength to make a better decision. Yeah? My heart goes out for all them dollars up there. I look at the side of their cars. They are conservation enforcement. You think those Kanaka took that job to sit here and protect an industrial size level construction project and stop a road and protect the road? No, they probably signed up for that job as Kanaka said, bro, I'm going to help protect the fish. I'm going to help watch out for our reefs and our forests. But look how they're being used right now. Look how they're being used. You think our Makai signed up for their jobs to protect corporate interests? No, because in the heart, and truly, as many of us, I've had to call them to help me to really protect their community and their people. That's what they signed up for. That's probably truly their heart's passion, to be a protector, a nakoa for their communities. But look how they're being used. what brings us into a discipline to honor and respect that, and hopefully help to give them power. My whole prayer every day, and a lot of times I'm always like, I want to do what I can do. My couple of times, I hope I can empower them to that point. They're going to say, they can get back and see the bigger picture and realize, wow, this is not what I signed up for. And give them enough strength that they can stand against what does not sit pono for them. And if they ever do that, we better be right at their back for help them out. Yeah. Because it's a system. Remember, it was designed. Slavery in America never ended. They just changed the type of chain. It never ended. Yeah. So, but when you get into ritual, and you can step back and always see that bigger picture. You can see that it enforces what you're doing when you're got to do your focus. You come back, check, how does this work for the greater? Enforce what you do. But if you're stuck here and you come back, you don't realize that you didn't go off the wrong way. Yeah. So there we are. A few different stories of modern ritual, influenced and guided by ancient tradition and wisdom and ritual and practice, being brought forth and being born right here in the 21st century. That is really why we're all here right now. It's because of these rituals that were set up, some of them long ago. Well, one elder always said, we are walking in the prayers of our elders. Yeah. So when they set this up, you think back back in the 70s when Auntie Edith Kanakaole would go share Na'omakua and Ihomai out to the community. You think she just did, they did a chant. Oh no, I'm sure she was looking much farther. All those kupuna who laid down pule, even his foundational, Iku Mau Mau, I don't know who brought that one out, but whoever gave that, is that still not a driving chant of our people? What's the thing? Stand together, all abreast. What are we doing right now? Literally, if we have to, Mau Mau, we will. They knew what they was doing. They did not have the strength or the support at their time to stand up where they could. But they looking to the future. They just set that bugger in motion. So we also, as I say, as we are here right now, we are doing what we need to do right now. But let us not forget that we are part of a much bigger picture. Our actions and our conduct right here, that we try to make sure to remind ourselves 3 times a day, is because we are part of a much bigger thing. The world is watching, and the world is learning. The news report that came out today, okay, we're going to learn. Yes, even when you on your little kiko on your California, the reactions of what your fingers would put on that has repercussions. But if you're only thinking right here, like, I'm going to get this guy, I'm going to make him feel, I will get him mad. If you don't take the time to look back at the repercussions of that decision, even though you might be, you're standing for the Mauna, you just went push against us. And not us. Against the Mauna. Yeah. The Mauna did not tell us to get belligerent. The Mauna taught us to be Mauna, like how silent that mountain is, but how powerful it is. Yeah. So it's a reminder. It's a learning lesson. Yeah. You know how hard it was to kind of bite my tongue watching that what they call it? The conference, and realize I agree with them. Yeah. No, I will say, I'm sure there's some of those guys out there on the other side who ain't gonna make one fake profile and gonna make all that. We've seen that happen. What do they call that? One provocateur. That's a possibility. It's a possibility. And it could be just straight up that we get some people who just got peel out online. And I will be the first to call that out. You know what our policy is here, right? From back in 2015. When we standing in line and we get there with the Makai, you start acting crazy, you know what we're going to do? We're going to step away, we're going to call the cops, get this guy out of here. Because he's a threat to you and us. We will work with who we need to make sure that everyone is pono and that everyone is safe. That's why the ritual is important, to exercise every day. Right now, nothing's happened for over a month, right? So if we don't, and notice everyone who we're keeping in there because we're constantly exercising that discipline. But if we just go and sit on our side, or just sit at home and just watch and just get angry, that festers. That's why we need to aloha our community. And that's why we need to get engaged. Okay? Again, ceremony, ritual has its place. It's been it's still a sad thing. Sometimes online what we're seeing that our own people sometimes, they're just dancing hula and singing and chanting up there. As if we're just entertaining ourselves. It's like, is our own people thinking so little of our chants and hula that they're still stuck that that's for tourists or that it's just for enjoyment? Are they not seeing the ritual power that is building here? They will in time. Yeah. So, the importance of ritual, of ceremony. Every single one of us, through every single one of our lineages, had ritual and ceremony. 21st century tries to get rid of that. Why? Because they know how powerful we get when we stick to it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was long. Sorry. So, mahalo nui ako. We'll do a little Q&A if there's any. No? Oh, great. Questions? Oh, that is awesome. Okay, bye.